This is kind of a sloppy drawing, but excuse me, I'm just kind of on a roll and enjoying sharing this information. We talked about the solar collectors that you can learn to build by going to the heartmindalliance.com website, and it's in the tab the tab that says videos and media. I'm not sure if it's in that order. It might be media and videos, but there you can see about 20 people putting together a solar collector, the most popular solar collector in the United States, the WILLETT system, developed in the San Luis Valley. And I wanted to tell you that beginning back in the 70s, we took solar heated air from collectors and pushed it under the floors of homes and turned the entire floor of a home into a radiant surface. Now, we've improved the solar collector so that air leaving the collector goes through a fan and then into the crawl space right underneath the crawl space area, and it is often pushed through a stovepipe to the colder north end of the building. Now, on the other side, down at ground level, okay, this is ground level, is the cool air intake into the collector. So we're recirculating air from the crawl space back to the collector and getting it hotter and hotter so that the floor then radiates heat into the night and for even several days without sun, cutting heating bills in half in some cases. The solar collector, which is built for about $600, is only about 3 inches in diameter. You know, it has a C channel around the outside, and we put it all up, screwing into plywood. So we have plywood or OSB as our background, and then we put in C channel here, screw that in, and then we put the absorber plate here, so air comes in through a pipe and goes into an airspace behind the absorber plate. So this black absorber plate is kept keeping the air moving only behind it so that no dust particles can settle on it. Many collectors in the northern New Mexico have been abandoned, and they're just falling apart in the weather, and it's because they moved air in front of the absorber plates, and the absorber plates simply got covered with silica, which was like a mirror for the sun. So we in the San Luis Valley began to move air behind the absorber plate, and then here where we put the glass on the top of the 3.5-inch C channel, it's probably more accurate. We caulk it well here, it's caulked well here, so that we create a dead air space. And that dead air space makes sure that no dust gets on the front of the absorber. Those are the key elements to our solar collector. We size it to the glass we have available, and you want to make sure it's not low E, which is low emission. We want a high emission, so don't get glass that's low E. The sun comes through that, hits the absorber plate, the air is moved behind there with a fan, a squirrel cage fan, which has a little probe in here to measure when the collector comes on, another probe underneath the floor perhaps, or just a simple attic switch that you can get for about $10 to turn the collector on when the sun comes out, and when the sun goes behind a cloud or sets in the west, then it turns off and waits for a new day to send more hot air underneath the floor. So in Espanola area, we have 3 collectors that are heating the subfloor area, which is insulated, by the way, around the entire perimeter of the crawl space. We insulate it with radiant foil insulation, just a real thin insulation that bounces back 97% of radiant heat and keeps it inside there, you know, inside the I did it radiant. That's supposed to say radiant. Let me do this without looking. Let's see, radiant. Okay. Radiant heat. I actually built a greenhouse where the greenhouse itself is only 4 feet wide, and the sun comes in and heats up all the containers that the plants are in, tomatoes, right? Even out here, water, we have containers painted black with water, and then all the insulation in the greenhouse is just aluminum foil to bounce back all the radiant heat collected. It's just aluminum foil, basically, of different kinds, radiating the heat back into the greenhouse. And then here we have glass, of course, which is helping to prevent heat loss of the air. So we don't need an expensive insulation in a greenhouse to make it work well, as long as we are keeping the radiant heat loss down. So you can actually have, even for example, a composting bin here for worms releases enough heat to keep a greenhouse from freezing all winter long. If it's done properly, where the radiant heat from the worm composter can be bounced back. Oh yeah, and my ceiling in the greenhouse is also radiant foil. Excuse me.